Okay, I am going to go through and show you how to download the movie template. So first you do want to go to eKadence, the movie poster assignment. Scroll down to step 2. There is a link here to download the movie poster template.zip. Go ahead and click on it and then click the download, and it's going to download it into your downloads folder. Notice you do want to set up your movie poster assignment in your root folder. You're probably at project 3 right now, so instead of 6, you would do 3_movie poster design. Let's go to our Finder. So in our downloads folder, double click, and you can see that the movie poster folder unzipped. I'm going to go ahead and do this in column view. Inside the movie poster template folder that we just unzipped, there's a folder called fonts. And inside of fonts, there's a folder called Montserrat. There is a bunch of fonts here. You can just do Command A to select them all. Double click. And then there's going to be this window that pops up. Notice we are in Font Book right now. And it's going to give you the option to either install it, or it's going to tell you that it's already installed. So I'm getting this validation report because this font is already installed on my computer. I'm just going to click the X. Let's go back to Tall, Dark, and Handsome, and you can see that there is a font here as well. Double click on it. And then if it's not installed on your computer, go ahead and install it. You need these fonts before working with the Photoshop file. I'm going to close this as well. That was the font license. Okay, so going back to this folder with the movie template, you can go ahead and drag this whole 11:17 movie poster template folder into that folder you created called 3_movie poster design. So it should look like this when you're done. Then also create another folder by right-clicking, new folder, and call it movie poster images. So inside of here, you're going to see your movie poster template.psd. .psd is your Photoshop file. And you went ahead and picked a name out of the basket. That is the name of your film. Now it's up to you to figure out what is your story and what is your genre. So let's go ahead and double click on our movie poster. Well, first let's rename it. For example, to rename it, you just click on it, click one more time, and then just delete the word template, do underscore, and then whatever the name of your film was. So for example, if my name was, I don't know, Dancing with Jones, I don't know, making something up. If that was the name of my film, there we go, I wrote it in. So now there's my poster. Movie poster _ Dancing with Jones, so I don't forget the name of my film, and then just double click on it to open it in Photoshop. Okay, and then here is our file. You can see there are a bunch of, in our layers panel, there are a bunch of folders here that have a bunch of text in it. For now, let's lock this text folder and let's lock the black background. But a little bit about movie posters. So up here, this is where the name of your A-list actors would go. These are the actors that are getting paid millions, billions of dollars to be on your film. If their name goes up here, you need to put their face on the movie poster. The names stay up here. That's kind of industry format. I mean, sometimes we see them move around, but for the main part, you want to keep them up top. This down here is called our billing block. And you can see right now that it is a template. Casting by casting crew, music by composer. So you're going to be replacing the names here, like director of photography. That is your cinematographer. So once you figure out what genre your film is, like sci-fi, horror, if it's a documentary, or if it's a drama, if it's a comedy, once you figure out what genre you are having for your film, start researching. Like which Studio Binder is the original creators of this template. It is not an actual production studio. So if my film was like a drama, find studios that create dramas and then replace these names. So Studio Binder, replace it. Replace these names. Usually there's more than one company attached to a film. If you watch movie credits, you're going to see a few companies pop up. Okay, in association with Studio PB, that again, you can replace that. If you want, you can use Studio::MP, which is the name for this class. Let me unlock this and just put that in there. So Studio:MP space. And notice I am typing all lowercase. The font is automatically all caps. You want to make sure you're typing lowercase because look, if I type caps, you see what it does? You do not want to do that. Okay, where it says actor's name, this is your A-list actors. Movie title would go in here, all lowercase. Again, my movie title is Dancing with Jones. Okay, casting by Google casting directors. All of these roles on here, casting director, music, composer, costume designer, editor, production designer, like these roles, they are people who get nominated for Academy Awards. So I want you to do some research and then replace the name. When you Google, let's go to Google. Okay, so let's see, drama, film, directors. Bunch of people come up. Oh yes, Steven Spielberg. Yep, this would be a good one to direct my film. Okay, so let's come in here. So I copied his name, Command C to copy. I'm going to come in here. It says directed by, the Command V to paste. Okay, notice when I pasted it, because his name was capitalized, I have large S's. I need to just come in here and fix it, make them lowercase to fit this format. This is called a billing block again, and it is industry standard that it goes at the bottom of your movie poster. But this is what you do. You want to come in here and write people's names in. Screenplay by Google. Screenwriters. Okay, let's see. Aaron Sorkin. Yeah, perfect. He's really amazing screenwriter. So Command C to copy his name. Let's come in here. We're going to double click on writer's name, paste it, and replace the first letters. Okay, notice as I'm replacing names, sometimes if my producer's name is really long, do you see what happens? It goes over these letters. And look, suddenly my spacing is different. Like now that I put in a screenplay by Aaron Sorkin, now I have all this extra space here. So my spacing is off. So I actually have to come in here, making sure your background layer is locked, otherwise it's going to move. Make sure your move tool is selected. I'm going to click and drag so that way directed by and Steven Spielberg is selected. And then I'm using the little arrows on my keyboard and just nudging it over. And I'm eyeballing it. I want like similar spacing between here and here. So I went a little bit too far, just like that. And then if I need to move more than one name over, I can click and drag to select more names. But step one, put in your names and then fix the spacing. And if you have like 4 actors and this line gets way too long and it no longer fits, you can just do a return and have the name on the next line. It's not a problem. Coming soon, month and year, go ahead and put something fictional. Usually it takes anywhere between 2 to 10 years to make a movie from start to finish. So these movies do take time. Movie title in there. So www.dancingwithjones.com. I would replace the movie title there. Okay, these are film laurels. You do not need to have them on the poster, but if your film won like an Academy Award or won in a prestigious film festival, you could add them to your movie poster. Movie title, you do not need to use this font. You do not need to keep it there. You can move it wherever you want. Producer's name, you can put your name as the producer, or you can put like Netflix or Hulu or Another director, sometimes like a Scorsese's film, they would put his name there. Tagline. A tagline is one little line that gives us insight on your story. For example, the movie poster, let's go to our examples here. There's a whole bunch of view samples here. Adam Project. Let's open this one. So the tagline is past meets future. So right away, this is some kind of time travel film. Right on. So one little hook that gives us insight about the film. Here's some movie posters from last quarter. So the film Don't Trust Jerry, it's a story about a dog and the dog's owner. And the dog's name is Jerry. And Jerry lures women in, and the owner murders them. And if you look at the tagline, trust is the easiest trick. Another example, Detention Planet, name of the film. The tagline is jail for the innocent. So right away, you know what this film is about. Gives you a little insight on it. To find images, you can do it two ways. One, you can go to canva.com and over here do custom size. And you want to change it to inches, width 11, height 17, and go ahead, create new design. Call it movie poster images. Over here in Elements, there are a bunch of photographs, and you can Google for stuff. I don't know if your film's about an octopus. Here's an octopus. You want to do one image per page because you're going to be downloading them and then combining them in Adobe Photoshop in the movie template. If you want to generate some images, you can use Magic Media, change it to portrait. Like last quarter, we had a student who wanted to do claymation. So she actually Googled here, claymation, boy walking in woods. And then it gives us some claymation graphics. And you can be more specific with your graphics, whatever you want, until you find something you like. Sometimes we need to find images of actors, and Canva will generate them. They're not great. Oops, I spelled his name wrong. Okay, well, let's see if any of these are any good. Okay, so it kind of looks like him. Not great, but it will generate stuff for you. And then if you get an error like about a copyright or it doesn't fit with their policies, whatever, you can just spell the name wrong and then see what pops up. But again, this is AI. It is not the best. You can see it barely even looks like him. Let's see if this looks more like him. A little bit better. But that is how you can generate images or find some in our photo section. You have access to a bunch of stock photography. New York City street. Okay, bunch of images here. If I need like one of New York. And I'm going to scale this up because I actually need to. The poster is vertical, so I need a nice tall image. So there we go. New York City. Another way to find actors' images. You can Google it. Because you are a student, you are allowed to get images offline for student work. You cannot use images offline for any professional work because it is copyrighted. So we can go to images, and if you click on one of these and you hover, it's only 500 pixels wide, very low quality. If we download it and bring it into Photoshop, it's going to be very blurry. So what we want to do, come over here to Tools, Size, Large. And now we have images that are a little bit better, a lot better. This one's 1,500 pixels wide. Something to think about. For example, if I want to use this image on my movie poster, I would have to Photoshop a jacket in. You do not want floating heads on your movie poster. So maybe you want to do like waist up or full height. And there we go. Now we have some full height images. Let's see, 1,000 pixels wide. Not bad. And again, you can absolutely tell it if you want casual clothes or a business suit, whatever you want. And then once you find an image you like, go to your Finder. Over here, new folder, movie poster images. Okay, so I have my image. I'm going to click and drag it into my folder, and here it is. Click and drag it in, and there we go. And I can scale it up as large as I want. Remove background. Sometimes it does a good job, sometimes it doesn't. So there you go. And I'm going to move all my images underneath my text. So I would recommend you bring your, here, let's move it underneath. Bring your images in, figure out where you're going to put them. Keep in mind, you do not want to cover important part of your images with the billing block, and also the top, the names. You don't want the heads like going up too high, that it's covering them. So bring in your images first, design it, and then come in and update your text, figure out where you're placing your title and all of that. Once you are completely done with your poster, Command S to save, and then you can do File, Save a Copy, and you want to save it as a JPEG. Over here, Format, JPEG. And you want to put in the beginning of it whatever the number of your period is. So if you're period 1, you put 1, period 2, 2. So let's say I'm in period 2, 2 underscore your name, underscore movie poster, underscore dancing, whatever the name of your film is. And then you would hit save. It's going to ask you if you want the quality to be maximum. Yes. Then hit OK.